Greetings, people of the internet. It is I, that Canadian fangirl, bringing you your red hot news this week of anime and pop culture excitement. This week, I swapped a bunch of stuff around because I really didn't want to do the work for what I planned. And because I just talked about Toy Story, I'm gonna do my pitches happen on Toy Story 4. So yes, this is a pitches happen this week. I've been sitting on this idea for Toy Story 4. Honestly, for a while now. I think after I saw Toy Story 4, I came up with you know, what if they did this instead? So it's kind of a what if fanfiction idea for how I would have wrote Toy Story 4, which does involve to the end of Toy Story 3. So okay, let's get into it. My pitch for Toy Story 4 is: what if Andy took Woody to college? So we gotta change the end of Toy Story 3, it's but that's the premise. Let's get into it. So, Toy Story 3 mainly plays out the same. It's the same plot. They still go to daycare. We still get the scene. They still end up in they still end up the going about the hit the incinerator. The big difference is at the very end when, yes, it's definitely the same. Andy takes the toys to Bonnie, and my change would be as Andy giving his toys to Bonnie. When Bonnie sees Woody, just the same play that the same. He's talking about Woody. Bonnie goes to reach for him. He goes to give Woody to Bonnie. Hesitates for a second, then pulls back and then admits, "No, I can't do it. I can't give you Woody. He means too much to me. Yes, I'm gonna stay with him." Mainly, he plays a bit with Bonnie for a bit in the afternoon, and then as he leaves, he takes Woody with him. As he's getting on the car, Woody, looks over briefly at Buzz and the other toys, silently says goodbye to the gang. Woody secretly moves to the window just to watch as Bonnie's house and Buzz and the other, fade into the background. And then that would be the end of Toy Story 3, and then the more bittersweet note of, hey, despite what we were setting up, the toys still end up separated at the end. So my take for Toy Story 4 would be Andy pulling up to would open with Andy pulling up to his college, to his new college, settling into his new dorm room. Getting everything set up. He pulls Woody out of a box, sets Woody on a shelf in his room. Maybe meets his new roommate, and then the two of them head out to explore, maybe the college campus. But we don't see that because it'll cut the Woody coming to life, panicking because after what we went to with Toy Story 3, being separated from the gang, he realized what I. It's like, I'm now separated. What does that mean? We were supposed to stay together. That was what we were going to do, and now I'm here, and the rest of the gang are getting played with Bonnie. So what do? He jumps off the shelf, heads to the window, looks out the college window at the campus, tries to figure out how far, where he is in relation to everything else on campus, and how far away he is now from Buzz and the gang. That's when you hear hello. He jumps, getting chaired by another toy. This one being like a old teddy bear who has this matted fur, but his fur is missing. The plastic on his eyes is chipped. He looks like he's been well worn from the years of being loved. This is going to be our new character. I'm going to call him Master Teddy, and this is a toy that belongs to Andy's roommate, who's going to be David. So Teddy's going to introduce himself to Woody, and then ask Woody if he knows his favorite toy. Woody's response would be, yeah. And then he'll be on like, oh, great. I'm so looking forward to getting to know you. You ready for college? Very kind of this kind of, new college, roommate kind of bond between these toys. Teddy's gonna, be like all ready to hang out all year, be doing stuff together while those kids off and the cows they'll be doing their own thing. Particularly, he's gonna point out Teddy throws an IE. That's what they would date him. Woody's response to this enthusiastic from Teddy is, "Oh no, I'm not staying. I agreed. I have to stay together with my other friend. I have to get back to them because we have to stick together." That was the whole point. And as Woody tried to walk away, we get, "Didn't your kid bring you here?" Which causes Woody to pause, turns to Teddy, and then he explains that Woody points out like, "Oh, he did, but Andy's now grown up. He's not playing with us anymore, and I agreed with the others that we have to stick together." Teddy's response, "But your favorite toy, your kid must still need you because he brought you to college." Teddy saying that David's other siblings David had other siblings, and they all had, and he had a bunch of toys, other toys, and the other toys of David's siblings told him about college. So because of that, Teddy then takes Woody on this kind of tour of the college life through basically they access it to like the vents, and there's like a little toy lounge in the rafters above the student lounge to have toys of all different walks of life that all look like they've been played with way too much. They're all worn and torn. They're like missing faux, chip paint. They all look like they've seen better days. And the toys, they'll explain that they are all favorite toys and that their kids brought to college. And we're gonna have this guy who we're gonna have like an elder toy who probably has been the longest explain, your kid is still your kid no matter how old they get. They still need you even if there is no playtime. And we'll get like a moment of like the toys kind of getting along with each other, and then it'll be interrupted by a couple of action figures who will come in, and we're gonna get the lead's gonna be probably a character called Major Shift. I don't know, names vary. And they're gonna come in and say like, "All right, people, the donation bins have been put out. The people are gonna come every Tuesday, and that's our only way out from college, and then we can get play with." And most of the toys in this area are against that because they can't leave their kids. What is the initial response is, maybe somehow this will help him get back to the gang. Help him to reunite, but before he can, act on this, take them be like, "Oh, hey, wait and see, you're gonna have to be your kid needs you, just stay here." So we can go to pass. We're gonna see basically college life go through. We're gonna see these kids going to in and out of classes, college parties, typical college shenanigans. Mostly Woody remains untouched on the shelf. Andy barely acknowledges him. So because of that, as they're talking, Teddy will explain like, "Oh, that's why I'm just sitting on this bed, but I make everything in time. I'm just sitting on this bed, and everything in time David sees me. He just feels better, and seeing this kid smile is enough for him. They'll go to the lounge a few times. The kid will be like, and all of those other same things. They're like, "Oh, just seeing my kid smile is enough. I don't need to be played with. I just need to see this kid smile." Which will lead to Woody talking to Major Shift about if they're still going through with their donation bin plan, and asking if the donation bin will help him get to Buzz in the Gang. So just wanted to be, oh, you can go anywhere once you go into the bin. We toys are meant to be played with. I haven't been touched in years. My kid ain't gonna miss me. These toys need to wisen up. So, and then Chef was playing, exactly his schedule for what he is. He like his gang of toys are doing, and that they're all leaving at a certain time, and that if he wants to come with them to, hop in the racing band, he should meet them all at dawn. After 7 days, Willie's gonna decide. Like no, the gang probably. I have to be. I have to stay to go with the gang. They probably miss me. Andy's not gonna miss me. I need to be. I need to be with Buzz and the gang. Teddy's gonna be like, if you. Teddy's gonna be like, yeah, do if you need to do this, go ahead. So the day of this operation, Woody is gonna probably like middle of the night. Woody's gonna jump off of the shelf, head down to the vent. Well, maybe the shit's gonna be waiting for him and say, "Oh, come along, we gotta get to the bins. If we don't get there in time, we're gonna miss out." So at that moment, Andy's gonna come into the room. Woody temporarily freezes. Andy's on his phone. He's talking with someone, maybe his mom, maybe a friend. He's talking about college classes. Maybe she has, tells Woody to hurry up, and that he has to move now. And Andy hangs up the phone and then slumps down onto the bed. And the movement of Andy coming down on the bed is gonna get Woody to tongue at the movement, and then kind of inch forward to see Andy looking distressed. He's, running his hands through his hair. He's fidgeting. He's clearly upset. Typical college angst of this is my first year in college and I'm not gonna flunk out. Because it's that like college is tough, to be totally honest. Maybe Andy going to like classes are way too tough. I'm gonna flunk my midterm. I'm having trouble fitting with some of these college clubs because because these people seem to be balancing college life okay, and he's like, maybe every college kid goes through this. And at that moment, Woody sees Andy as the boy he was, and not as this, and not who we was, and sees this kid that used to play with him all the time, crying to himself. Woody turns a look at the vent, realizing, I have to leave now. I have to get back to Buzz in the Gang. But then he looks back and sees Andy as basically his kid, and he realizes Andy needs some sort of comfort right now. I have to do something. So Woody walks away from the vent, drops down at the moment. Well, he intentionally taps Andy's shoe, and at the moment Andy looks down, sees Woody, picks up Woody, runs his fingers over maybe Woody's hat, his features, and as he's holding Woody, we get a flashback of Andy's father gifting Woody to maybe a 4 or 5-year-old Andy. Showing that Andy was a gift from his father, and then the man walks out, maybe in the rain, after having an argument with Andy's mom, and Andy's in bed crying and hugging Woody because basically giving it the idea like, okay, no, his dad left. Yeah, then he's probably vulnerable, which would be an interesting take for the Toy Story movies to take. And we cut back to the present as Andy's sitting there, gives Woody a hug, and then tears up and starts venting all his problems essentially to Woody, telling Woody about how I'm gonna fail this midterm. I'm gonna tell this midterm. Campus life is not working out. I'm struggling. In these clubs. These friends all seem to be in. Again, typical college life thing that every young adult goes through. And then here's the moment. In a really unclear moment if this is actual or not, Woody reaches up and pats Andy on the cheek, and I'd frame this in the way that you don't know if Woody is actually trying to comfort Andy at this moment or Andy's doing this himself. But then you have Andy pull away, stare at Woody, bring him back in, pat the little hat, place him on the bed, and then maybe go to his desk to study because he was able to, prevent his problems. And that would be the big Pixar moment that we all come to these movies for. Woody suddenly looks over the other side of the room. Teddy gives him a small smile, and they're both thinking, your kid grew up, but it's still your kid. Your kid still needs you to comfort him. The camera pulls away from the college dorm, and I'd have it end. And that would be my take on Toy Story 4. And yeah, this is a basic outline. You stress it out more if it became natural scripted. Would it be better? Probably not. Okay, here's the thing. I think this would be a better Toy Story 4 than the Toy Story 4 we got because it's still Woody being separated from the group, but it doesn't feel like Woody's development is tied more with the first three films with what we actually got in Toy Story 4. Would it be better than would this ending be better than what we got in Toy Story 3? No, because Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending, and I think that ending works. But if we got it where Eddie didn't give up Woody, and he was like, "No, I can't give Woody to Bonnie," this is probably the story I would want to see. I would want to see this, take on what toys mean to college students, because I don't. My opinion would be my. I think my objective that I want to go for with this is showing Toy Story from the perspective of a young adult, and how, yeah, these people don't play with toys, but there is still some comfort in having this toy to vent to, and maybe some people will realize, yeah, I did take like that, like a small toy to college, just give me this small touch of nostalgia that I needed to get through what is ugly 4 years of out the hell. I love college, but it is not an easy time. And if you're moving away from college, you need something to remind you of home. And usually, like a childhood toy that has meaning to you might be something that helps you get through the day. And that's what Teddy's gonna represent. And that's what some of these and it would flesh out the kind of the Toy Story world and how, yeah, because college is not a place for a toy. And I think the toy they're gonna know is like, yeah, we shouldn't be at college, but we've adapted and we've done where we've basically made this kind of little area we can just kind of hang out and have fun and talk about how all kids have matured into these adults from these rapscallions who I don't know. It'll be an interesting pace though, and I think the crux of it would be this scene I created with Andy and Woody, because it's like, what a the one video I did that would look really cool. And again, do I think this is what I want to see from the Toy Story? No. If they would have taken the direction, I would have loved to see them go this route. Because admittedly, Toy Story 4 was just more of the same, but this would have added something to the story from Toy Story 3, which I think would have been nice. And I don't know, considering Toy Story is always, kind of the thing is like, oh, they don't, toys out needed once the kids grow up was what 2 was kind of get through, and 3 was going to this whole thing of we're gonna stick together. It'll be interesting if in Toy Story 4 to have this idea of that's because they're grown up doesn't mean that they don't still need you. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you like this idea. I really like rewriting. I really like doing fanfiction what ifs. I think these are fun side experiments. They help me with my writing, and like pitching these ideas. Like, yeah, if I was a Pixar writer, with I don't have the talent to work for Pixar, but if I was a Pixar writer, I probably would have pitched this. Now I don't work for Pixar, and I doubt anyone from Pixar is gonna listen to this episode, so whatever. But thanks for playing with my fun side experience. But this is up there with when I did my Eternals rewrite back a year ago when I reworked the Eternals. And I like doing this stuff. I have another one planned in 2 weeks because I'm going to be doing Miraculous Ladybug next week, and I have thoughts about Miraculous Ladybug, so I want to rewrite the ending of season 5 because holy shit, that show was a hotbed for writing wise. That I like these experiments, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, thanks for listening to my pitches happen on how I would rewrite Toy Story 4 with having Andy take Woody to college. Remember to like and subscribe over on Spotify. Help the algorithm boost the numbers. Tell Spotify, hey, we exist. Remember to leave a comment down below. If you read the description, the comments are right there. Leave a comment if you like this idea. If you thought this was an interesting way for them to do something with Pixel. Follow me on all my socials. Blue Sky, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, my Twitch. I am on YouTube. Go to Pokemon JFan on YouTube. Look for that Canadian fangirl over there. Leave a like and comment over there if you're watching over there. Hey, that also, because I don't know, if you're watching over there, let me know. I'm probably gonna be doing some on my YouTube channel more. I wanna upload a video I recorded years ago. Wattpad and fanfiction for my writings. No gatekeeping. We don't gatekeep community. If you like something, you're a fan of it. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. And remember, when people ask you what fangirl you listen to, it is that Canadian fangirl. All right, later, people.